Let's just say we Fangpyres bit off more than we can choose. Fang Tom. Hello, I'm Sensei the Dark Master, and welcome back to the lore of Ninjago. This time, we shall be continuing our coverage of the Serpentine. This time, we will be covering those venomous vipers, the Fangpyres. We shall be covering their history, abilities, appearance, weapons, weaknesses, vehicles, and political structure, and more. As always, let's start with their history. The Fangpyres, much like the other Serpentine, their origins date back thousands of years ago and have been lost for the most part. We know that, much like the other Serpentine, they fought against the humans in the First Serpentine War. After their defeat by the humans thanks to Garmadon's quick thinking and a magical flute, the Fangpyre were imprisoned inside a large graveyard known as the Well of Souls, located beneath a large tree, and is the largest of all the tombs. Ironic considering that they were the smallest tribe prior to their imprisonment, and of course not counting the near extinction of the Anacondrae, but that would occur later. The Fangpyres would be imprisoned for many years until Lord Garmadon freed them, using a map he found in the Hypnobrai tomb. He convinced them to assist him in his evil plans, going to the junkyard to increase their strength. They harmed Ed and Edna until the ninja put a stop to their evil plans and defeated the various minions they had created. Lloyd then led the Fangpyre against the Hypnobrai, but it turns out Fang Tom was friends with Scales, and the two don't fight and decide to throw Lloyd away. Lloyd then runs off. The Fangpyres would help make weapons and vehicles for the Serpentine, both under the leadership of Pythor, Garmadon, and Scales. After being overpowered by the Stone Army, they would settle underground and found a town with the other Serpentine tribes. Eventually, they made peace with the humans, and even fought alongside them against the Anacondrae cultists in the Second Serpentine War. Now, let's go over their political structure. In terms of political structure, the Fangpyres are similar to the other Serpentine tribes. The lowest ranking members are the very humanoid scouts like Snappa, who have head tails on their head in a less cobra-like manner than the Hypnobrai and Venomari, with a rattlesnake tail. Above these scouts are the average foot soldiers, like Fang Shui. They are redder in coloration and have huge buck front teeth like that of the constricti. Above them are the rare warriors, represented by individuals like Fangdam, who are believed to be mighty soldiers that earn their way up via tests of strength. At the top of the tribe hierarchy is the general. The current general is Fang Tom, similar to the warrior, except with even redder coloration. In terms of appearance, the Fangpyres are generally red, white, and black, with higher ranked members being more red. They are heavily inspired by true vipers such as the asp or rattlesnakes. Also, the leaders and generals are well known for having dual heads and speak in a Transylvanian-esque accent. Unfortunately, due to the fact that both all-known warriors and generals have this unfortunate trait, we never really see what a normal Fangpyre general or warrior looks like, though it can be assumed to be pretty much identical to the head, except with just one head as opposed to two. This is because of their secret ability. You see, the Fangpyres possess perhaps the greatest of all the Serpentine powers. Their venom has highly mutagenic powers, and can even infect someone via fossilized specimen. Firstly, of course, obviously, they can accidentally give themselves two heads if they bite themselves or another one of their tribes, meaning, as I stated before, we never see a normal general. However, it has been assumed that they were pretty similar to a shorter and thinner version of Pythor. However, their effects on humans are far more severe, with humans and flies being turned into serpentine-esque monsters, though it takes longer in humans, taking several hours, whereas flies turn almost instantly. It's unknown what the effects on other tribes would be, however. It can be safely assumed that it's probably similar to the Fangpyres, as in giving them dual heads. Perhaps even more amazing is that the Fangpyres' venom can turn vehicles and inanimate objects into serpentine-esque vehicles, which would be used by Fangpyres and other tribes like Lasha here. Let's go over them one by one, shall we? First, we have the highly serpentine bite cycle, get it? With a long whipping tail and two purple missile launchers. They were the most common of the vehicles and were used by those outside the tribe as well. There was the Fangpyre truck, which has a chomping mouth, all-wheel suspension, and an even larger lashing tail. There's the mighty Fangpyre mech, with claw-like hands, a huge face, and a short tail. It appears to be semi-sentient, as according to the lore, it does what Fang Sui tells him to do. There was also the Fangpyre robot, which was originally a statue made in Jay's honor by his adoptive father, Ed. That got turned into a serpentine ninja robot, however, and was eventually destroyed. There was the Rattlecopter, a large serpentine helicopter, which had snake bombs and 4 missile launchers. It was extremely useful in terms of aerial combat. Perhaps the oddest of the vehicles there was the Fangpyre Wrecking Ball, which possessed a level of semi-sentience, though the ball could be controlled via some controls in the serpentine cockpit, which itself could also bite. Once again, it also had a flexible tail, and the specific design of the wrecking ball changed. In the set, it was far more spiky, whereas in the show, it was just a regular wrecking ball with a face. Much more mundane was the snake bus, which, despite appearances, did not have any weapons, and was little used for assault, and merely was a transport vehicle for the Serpentine. The largest and last of the vehicles, created by the Fangpyre, was the Serpentine Tribe, a huge mobile fortress with multiple cannons, multiple segments, and could house up to dozens and dozens of Serpentine. It also had a huge tail. The multiple segments could also be separated and controlled independently, which was quite interesting. Unfortunately, this train was destroyed in the show. In addition to these major vehicles, the Fangpyres also bit some smaller objects that became numerous little nuisances for the ninja. These included a toaster, a mixer, and a boombox. Yes, there's literally a serpentine boombox. You dig? In terms of weaponry, the scouts and soldiers often wielded generic spears, whereas Fangdam wielded the aptly named Fangdam's Golden Staff. It apparently has the power to mess up other people's weapons' power. His brother Fangtom wields the Fangpyre Staff, which, much like the other Serpentine staffs, contains the anti-venom and can undo the effects of the venom. It also has a golden cobra appearance, which is pretty good. However, for all these amazing abilities, the Fangpyres have one great weakness. In addition to the anti-venom, they can undo their effects of their venom. That being metal armor can prevent the Fangpyre from injecting their venom into their victims, rendering their bite worthless. Still, they are, unlike the Venomari, still physically strong and are perfectly average in terms of that, and so should not be taken lightly. Whereas the Venomari pretty much rely on their special venom, the Fangpyres are still pretty good at fighting, even without their venom. From the Fangpyre, we learn the lesson that being, it is not numbers that indicate strength, but abilities and strategy that determine victory and true power. It is only through knowledge that the ninja were able to stop the Fangpyres. I'm Sensei the Dark Master, and join me next time in the lore of Ninjago. Have a great day.